This is Grand Theft Auto Vice City Definitive Edition. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is the classic Vice City experience that has finally been fixed, upgraded, and enhanced as part of this Definitive Edition collection. And I think in general, that is quite fantastic. So with this most recent update to the game, and what I imagine will be the final update for this full experience, unless they do some smaller things here and there, they've restored the original lighting to the game. So the original look, the original style, alongside a number of other various enhancements to make this game look just like how it did back in the day, which I think is fantastic. So we're here on the fidelity mode. So this is like your full 4K. It's still dynamic, but it's like 1900p, 30 FPS, HDR support. You can, of course, at any time go into the options and bump the level of quality to the performance mode, which I think is a lot better. And you can also turn off classic lighting if you want the modern lighting added to the game. And there's some other adjustments and stuff you can make as well. So here it is with the modernized lighting. So if you do want that new, more, I guess you would say, realistic take. Wow, these ladies really move around. They know what they're after. This style is available as well. So with the performance mode, it's dynamic 1800p, 60 FPS, pretty smooth running at this point, which is fantastic. And yeah, this is just kind of the upgraded visual style for the game. We'll go back and switch that on so that you have the classic lighting. And that's just kind of the default thing, is that original view and style that was present from the game back in the day, which is probably the ideal way that a lot of people will want to experience this, especially if this is something that they are revisiting as opposed to playing for the first time. Whereas maybe newcomers may more appreciate, I can't believe I got hit by a random car, may more appreciate the updated lighting if they want something that is a bit more modern. There's definitely a unique coloring and aesthetic to the original lighting that you don't get with the new version. So yeah, kind of worth maybe playing around with and kind of taking a look at, but I know a lot of people really liked the way the games used to look. Like, I think the games, they look fantastic with these visual upgrades. It's basically like kind of what you remember, but way higher resolution. Everything's smooth, everything's colorful, it's vibrant, it pops. But obviously, like earlier, we just didn't have the benefit of classic lighting like we do now, where you get your weird colorful hazes and that distinct aesthetic that, as I said, so many people appreciated back in the day. So that's all upgraded here. So this was part of, like, there was Grand Theft Auto 3, there was Vice, and there was San Andreas. So this was kind of part of basically like a compilation of Grand Theft Auto games that, well, they released separately, but you get what I mean. They came around the same time, and they took us to some really incredible and unique places with some different stories and some different characters. That person just, like, totally just randomly, nothing to do with me, just go and kill somebody over there, because that is kind of hilarious. So yeah, a pretty, genre-defining classic, one a lot of people loved. Everything's upgraded, better enhancements in terms of, like, draw distance, style, combat, movement, interactions. Everything looks better in Vice City. And, yeah, it's kind of nice that I finally grabbed this to take a look at and check it out, because it is something that I thought was a pretty glaring omission from my coverage. So kind of like wearing some light stuff just on the back there. That's kind of funny. And it's just great to be taking a look at this game and covering it. And I'll have videos for each of the different 3 games that are part of this Definitive Edition collection, so you can see how each of them are running. And yeah, she just gets right back up as a trooper and just like keeps on roller skating away. Wow, she is really genuinely impressive lady. I'm almost sorry that I like ruined your life by ending it, Because I know you were so into, like, just living your best life and traveling around, but, you know, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. But yeah, I thought this is the best way to kind of showcase the collection, is just sort of giving you a look at each of the different games. Holy, that came out of nowhere. So it's the 1980s, the decade of big hair and pastel suits, and the story of one man's rise to the top of a criminal pile. Of course, like, you can do story stuff where you can just mess around. It's a little bit more fun to just mess around if you're into that kind of thing. Like, I don't know, I think it's kind of fun to just cause mayhem and shoot people and do weird things, and however you want to do it, that's up to you. But yeah, you get those different missions and those different options. So anyways, yeah, Grand Theft Auto returns with Tommy Vercetti's tale of betrayal and revenge in a neon-soaked tropical town, brimming with possibilities, excitement, and things to see. It's also neat because, like, I think if you were playing this for the first time, these Grand Theft Autos, the games have a bit of a cohesive... Oh, wow, you're wanting the thing back. Okay. They have a bit of a cohesive style that sort of makes them look as though they're like one complete offering, and I think that's really, really cool. He knocks me out of the car, and he tries to run away while being by the ambulance. I don't think so. I kind of wanted the red car. Unbelievable. You know, you try to get a car, and mayhem ensues, honestly. Do we really need this much of our car backup for the mayhem I'm causing? Like, look at this. Why are all these cars all together in this area? It's ridiculous. There's no reason I should have caused that much of a backup. I'm just trying to live my best life in Vice City. Anyways, yeah, it's just this really kind of vibrant, colorful, unique area. I was mentioning in another video that it would have been really cool to have seen, like, obviously these evolve upon one another, but it would have been cool for them to continue doing little games like this, if that makes sense, like little entries in Grand Theft Auto, because we could have seen a lot more cities. We're kind of basically stuck with a preset selection of cities now, right? Liberty, Vice, and like San Andreas and surrounding area, but I don't know, it's still cool to check this out, because this one's a little bit interesting because a lot of it's very beachy. Very, very beachy. Like, there's still lots of city. There's still many places to visit. It's still an iconic game, but it's very fascinating from the perspective of being a city. Still lots of poppin' too. A city that's actually, like, kind of a beach paradise of sorts, if that makes sense. I'm up to 4 stars? I don't even really think I've been doing anything, have I? And it's kind of funny because we're basically getting the new version of this. Like, they revisit these places for Grand Theft Auto, and I can't wait to see how this looks compared to what's to come. It's going to be fascinating seeing the changes, and, you know, beach where there's just people awkwardly rendering and walking along versus actually having like a full scope beach. Like, it's just a really long, excessive open beach area where there's just not much going on, which is not necessarily the most exciting for your gameplay, but back in the day you'd be like, oh wow, you know, there's all this stuff going on here. In actuality, it's just a bunch of occasional NPCs walking around. Like, this beach is excessive. Like, why is the beach so long? And oh, look at that majestic sunset. I wonder actually how that looks in the modern lighting. Kind of fits the scene almost a bit more. I don't know, like, I get wanting to have your original version, but I do give props for the different lighting direction. Because it's interpretation too, right? Whenever you're, like, remastering, remaking, bringing something back, there is a level of like interpreting what they kind of had in mind and what the limitations of technology were. And, you know, trying to evolve that and stuff. But I do definitely see why people would want, you know, the lighting of old versus, like, new lighting. And I can see how the art direction, like, art direction is a big thing in video games, and it makes a massive difference. Like, I don't know, it's like, it's kind of more real, but this is more, like, stylized, and it kind of makes the city pop a lot more. Which I guess is the direction, right? Like, this is supposed to be a neon-soaked place that you're visiting and you're messing around in. It's not necessarily supposed to be, you know, that sort of realistic beach area. It's a hard one. It really is, like, honestly, between the two. I'm glad that there's a toggle between them, and I'm glad that I've realized the toggling option, as that makes a world of difference. Kind of funny that I've got 4 stars going on, and I feel like I'm barely being, like, obviously the cops are coming after me a little aggressively, but I think they'd be doing something a little bit better to, stop the mayhem I'm causing. Showing you some of the camera angles. Uh-oh. Get out of there! I've only got like 9 health. I'm gonna die. Which is a bit of a shame because I'm finally exploring this world and it's finally daytime. I don't want to die and have to deal with the night. Nobody likes the nighttime. But it's nice to get a stylish upgrade version of this that's, you know, new style lighting and old style lighting. So you can play it by default, just how it was intended to be played back in the day. And upgraded. Oh, this is not good. I need a ride. Thanks for your car. I also just love the mayhem. Like, this game, you can really tell, like, they put together a great story, right? They really do. But you can tell that the fundamental kind of core loop is the idea of being someone messing around in the city, and then how that city reacts to your presence. And how all the NPCs and everything react to all the craziness going on. I also just love the sense of freedom here, too. What? During Hurricane? Oh, no. Thank you. Vigilante missions. See, there's always like little side activities to do as well in these games. It's so great. I do ponder if we'll see like a remaster, remake later on. I know, how do you take this further? But I'm sure they could clean up Pop It and really revamp these graphics. Like, it's nice because it does look way better than it did back in the day, but I still do see room for improvement, which is kind of funny. But I would say at this point, this is probably the definitive offering for these packages. And to me, that's okay. I'm getting chased by a helicopter. That's wild. I'm starting to think this police force is a little incompetent because, like, honestly, I'm not really trying that hard to evade and escape from these guys, but that is kind of funny. Oh, come on, let me play with the fun parts of town. See, you're supposed to do the story stuff, and then the world opens up to you like an oyster. And then you can see new areas and do new things. It's an interesting, you know, setup. And it allows you to get acquainted with the world and the activities within it. And then this story, completely different from the other Grand Theft Auto games. That's where I was saying it would have been fascinating to see them continue this stretch of we're going to all these different American cities with all these different stories, and you'd have all these different places and different, like, worlds, quote-unquote, and characters to kind of draw from. I can't tell if these gang guys are, like, with me or against me or what, but, I'm living my best life. How can one person mowing down people in the city cause this many problems? Pizza. I go for pizza. You actually read things on the board.
It's our extra cheesy dome flakes promo today.
Thanks for the food and the pizza. I appreciate everything you do. It's so nice to have this at like a high fluidity too. I get like it's weird that like the fidelity mode's the default thing. This is what feels really great to play. It really does. This makes a world of difference for me. Yeah, Vice City is a pretty awesome game. I think you'll love. Like if you never played Vice City, I think you'll love the story, like the characters, and you know, sort of this crime world of sorts that you're building into, and yeah, it's got like style and flair. Very unique from the other Grand Theft Auto games. I know San Andreas is a big draw for people, but I do feel that this one still is a pretty special and enjoyable Grand Theft Auto game that you most certainly should give a whirl to if you have this package. The mall? Oh no. The mall! You know, for a mall of its era, this is kind of quaint and fun, isn't it? I'm just running around with a gun in the mall. Real lack of people in here. I'm sorry, regular people. 50% off everything. I guess it's supposed to be an 80s mall too, but I'm not really seeing the neon style of it. I guess they got palm trees growing in here. It was always fascinating when malls have trees and stuff. It's so neat. Like, I definitely get the vibe of what they were going for with this. It's cool that there's actually like a whole mall you can go into, right? I'll show you a hidden package. And it's also neat how like the buildings, the different stores all have things within them. Because like obviously like none of this stuff is like really to scale, right? But it's believable, which is fascinating. I feel like these cops just kind of like spawn randomly around me, which is hilarious. Gash. Actually go in here. It's funny too, because they're clearly like, you know, a lot of Grand Theft Auto actually is satirical stuff, and they're making fun of things. That's a big part of the franchise. And I hope they don't lose that vision in the future, but... Should come in and, like, mow that person down in your panic? Why? I know there's intense shootouts going on right now, but... It is funny, because this is probably so quaint to people today. But I think of it from a perspective of, like, back in the day, and it's genuinely fascinating. Or are you a little tired? Going on this crazy gun rampage. Oh, now it's raining out? This is spectacular. I mean, I'm having fun just kind of running around doing this kind of stuff. A bribe? Nice. Climb! Oh no. I have a lot of problems in Vice City. But that's what we do, we always get into trouble. I wonder, is like, I'd have to look into it. I wonder if there's more, like, rumored cities they were thinking of doing. Because they were, for a while, just kind of, like, pumping these games out, right? Like, these did come together in, like, a pretty tight period of time. Thanks for your money, I'll take your car. So Vice City's fun. It keeps the 80s alive. It's got the neon style, it's got the action, it's got the craziness, it's got the different advancements that you were kind of expecting for Grand Theft Auto as they continue to transition into the 3D world of gaming. Kind of awesome. Can I buy this property? Well, how much is it? How am I going to buy it if I don't know how much cash goes? What am I supposed to do, just guess? Unbelievable. But yeah, the streets of Vice never looked so good. Oh, hi there. And I think you can have a great fun revisiting them now that they're properly updated and ready to go. And This whole package is nice. Just to be fair, police officers, you did mow her down. It was not me. So I make that very clear.